Hey, it's me. All right, first off, my deepest, widest, tallest apologies if there's any background noise in this video. There's some construction happening outside. We're gonna get through it. I wanna do that thing today where I go on Twitter and ask you guys which music I should work on, purely based on the weird titles that I give my works in progress. Let's go. All right, the votes are in. You guys picked a folder called JK, which does not stand for just kidding. It stands for J and K. I was listening to a lot of J-pop and K-pop at this time, and then within that folder, you picked a song called Bang. So let's listen to this for the first time since July 2013. Oh man, my presets aren't loading right. Okay, maybe this is a Live 10 thing. Oops, let's go back a version. I know I just dropped my big Live 10 video. Why aren't you loading my massive presets? There we go. Club time. Oh, there's gonna be this awful demo vocal in here. Okay. All right. If you don't know, this is a thing I do. I just sing kind of gibberish stuff to get a melody down. That was not as bad as I thought it would be. I think I was using a proper microphone. Sometimes I'm doing stuff so fast that I just sing into my laptop microphone to get the demo vocals down. And it sounds awful, but I just need to remember my melodic ideas. I don't think we're gonna be recording proper vocals today because of the, let's make this more of a producing video. Let's build up this beat. I think I could still make a nice track out of this that I would like and that wouldn't immediately scream 2013. Let's hope. There's no bass part yet, so let's add it. Let's do bass to this. Haven't used that catchphrase in a long time. I'm really bad at my personal brand. Let's do bass to this. Wait, it's do bass to it. Is that what I... Let's talk about something that a lot of people ask me about, which is coming up with B sections. One way that people talk about song structure is using letters. So A is the first thing that you've come up with, and then the first big change, the first different section is the B section. And something that I think probably every composer or producer or songwriter comes up against is those times when you've got something really good going, but it's just looping. It's just this one thing and you don't know where to take it next, how to make something else that's different, but that still fits with what you've got. So let me show you some of the things that I do. Sometimes, you know, it just comes out of inspiration, but there's also certain techniques and tricks that you can apply, that you can just experiment with, see what happens, and often that can lead to a really natural, nice sounding B section. The easiest, most basic way to think about it is you're trying to make something that is a bit different and a bit the same. So if you're thinking about all the different musical elements you're using, whether it's instruments or effects or a chord or a part of a melody, you want to keep something the same and you want to change something. Like with anything, there are going to be exceptions to this rule where you just throw a total non sequitur in sometimes, but this is kind of a general rule that most music abides by. Even though things are changing, there is something connecting the parts together. So like in our track so far, I've been looping pretty much the same thing over and over. The trance synth is in there the whole way through. I add some drum layers, I add the bass in, but the chord progression is staying the same. The rhythms are staying the same. In terms of dynamics and energy, there are no major changes. So a few things we could do to make it different. Take away a major element, like maybe remove that synthesizer or remove the drums. We could change up the chord progression, or we could have a different instrument come in and replace the current chord instrument. We could filter a whole bunch of instruments, or we go the other way dynamically. What if we keep everything that we've got, but add a ton of new stuff at once? A bunch of guitars and sound effects and a whole new set of drums. And so with any of these approaches, you'll have something carrying through, like the chord progression or an instrument or a vocal. That's your glue, but then enough things are changing and spicing it up to keep it interesting. Change something, keep something the same. I don't know what we're making when we're mixing glue and spices together, but It's gonna be tasty. So looking at our track, even as I've just been thinking about this, I already know what I'd like to experiment with for the next section of this song. I'm gonna take out the drums. I'm going to keep the synthesizer, but I'm gonna change what it's playing, both rhythmically and in terms of the chord progression. Goodbye. We're gonna loop this. Just keep it going. Maybe I'll filter it here. Just dragging this around here with my mouse. La, la, la. You know what I'm hearing now for this build-up? And maybe it's just because I recently made that stupid sandstorm video. I think we need one of those classic 909 snare drum build-ups. That's freaking funny. So here's what I'm feeling now. We've been building up. What have we been building up to? How about a drop? I feel like doing one of those weirdo sparse drops. Do you know what I'm talking about? Heavy hitting drums, but kind of just sound effects and a little synth stab here, a little bit of bass here. Just like cool stuff sprinkled all over. And you know what? Let's go back to Twitter. Let's get some sound effects from you. While we're waiting for that stuff to roll in, let's go have some lunch. Soundtracked by my newest release on Spotify and iTunes and... I'm microwaving leftovers. It's whatever. Let's look at some stuff. What do we got?
Yow! Yeah!
Andrew Huang!
Physical pain. Kobe! Woo! 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 Also, let me point out, I'm doing all this in stages right now. So there was sample collection, which you guys made really easy. Now I'm doing all the editing of the samples, just making each one sound as cool and musical as I can without totally knowing where it's gonna fit in. And then I'll move on to actually composing and producing this drop. I just find it way more effective when I group all the similar tasks together like this because it starts to feel a lot more cumbersome and a lot more like work when you're working on your music and you're like, okay, let's find another sample that could maybe fit here. Let's edit that sample. Let's put it in. Let's do that all again so many times. This is just smoother. So after a few hours of working with these samples, here's what I've come up with. Let's start it from the build up. I've been mangling these samples in some really fun ways, and I want to be able to share that with you, so I think that's going to be its own whole separate video. And I've been kind of thinking of making a slight tweak to the way I do these videos anyway, because usually my goal is to finish a track in the video, which, you know, it doesn't matter who you are, that's pretty ambitious. So I think sometimes, like today, maybe we'll just delve into certain parts of the process and pick it up again, like do a to be continued episode, and honestly, it just makes it easier for me to make more content. So yeah, let's leave it there for today. Subscribe, turn on the notifications with the bell. Andrew Huang out.